Cracker Barrel is losing it after a hilarious backfire, which was sparked by what the CEO actually said about the brand's collapse as well as the customers. Now, Cracker Barrel just lost almost $100 million overnight, and instead of just fixing the problem itself, Cracker Barrel decided to go ahead and blame a vocal minority of customers. Cracker Barrel actually stripped out everything people like: classic branding, family-friendly atmosphere, even the peg game, okay? And I like that too. And then acted surprised when people stopped showing up. You see, Cracker Barrel isn't just changing the logo. You see, it's erasing the entire identity. And now the backlash is turning into a full-blown collapse. Now, Cracker Barrel is simply losing it after a hilarious backfire after calling the customers the vocal minority. Now, MSNBC decided to go ahead and jump in to basically carry water for Cracker Barrel, like, it was some kind of humanitarian crisis and stuff. And that they've actually completely lost the room, even when, hardcore Democrat accounts start mocking the company's decision making. Now, but instead of just listening to actual paying customers, well, the Cracker Barrel decided to double down. So here is that particular clip in question.
The logo is fine. Companies go through rebrands all the time. You know what I'm sick of?
Manufactured BS?
Yeah, manufactured BS, but I am so sick of the outrage of these snowflakes.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many things that offend them and get them all upset. They're shooting beer cans and burning hats and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, there are real things people are concerned about, and they're losing their minds over a redesign.
Mm-hmm.
What the? See, I'm trying to get him in trouble.
You see when I'm quiet? I'm like, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, yeah, this particular MSNBC host, John Capehart, as you all know, decided to go ahead and rant about it and talk about it. But yeah, of course they're going to come to the defense, even though that network is in trouble. But anyways, not only are they simply ignoring the backlash, they're just simply pretending the backlash doesn't even exist. Okay, so this isn't just tone deaf, by the way, it's just flat out delusional. Now, Cracker Barrel tried to rewrite the narrative by simply pretending the criticism came from a fringe group, but the numbers don't lie. You see, $100 million simply evaporated in a single day. Okay, that right there is not a vocal minority. That's the sound of your core audience simply just walking away. Okay, and now you've got Steak and Shake dunking on Cracker Barrel as well. They're definitely trolling them on X. And when a competitor publicly mocks another in the same industry, you know it's bad. Usually, companies keep it civil, even when they're fierce rivals, but not this time. You see, Steak and Shake has been dragging Cracker Barrel up and down social media, as you all can see. And honestly, it's been hilarious to watch. I mean, this is simply what happens when you try to rebrand a place that people didn't want rebranded. You see, honestly, Cracker Barrel used to stand for something, Now it just stands basically for confusion. And instead of just, fixing the real issues like slow service, shrinking portions, or even rising prices, Cracker Barrel thought the smart move was to go ahead and paint the walls beige, swap out historic decor, and strip the logo of everything recognizable. Now, the CEO had the nerve to call it buzzworthy. Oh yeah, it's buzzworthy because you burned the place down and then bragged about the heat. Now, nobody asked for these particular changes. Now, the people who actually love Cracker Barrel, the customers weren't demanding a redesign at all. They just wanted decent food and the same warm, cozy vibe. But instead, well, Cracker Barrel decided that they should serve up cold modernism and just a heap of corporate smugness, basically. Now, Steak and Shake, as you all know, have seen Smell Blood in the Water, and they went in for the kill. You see, the official account even told Cracker Barrel to stop living in denial, and they roasted Cracker Barrel for basically dodging responsibility and simply just blaming surface level aesthetics instead of the real operational problems. And you know what? They're right. Cracker Barrel's decline isn't about a logo. You see, it's about leadership failure. You can't slap a new font on the front door and expect customers to ignore the fact that everything else is simply going downhill. Now, as you all know, the internet hasn't let this slide. Memes are everywhere. Heck, even the Dylan Mulvaney in a Cracker Barrel apron and stuff, staff uniforms, photoshopped in there for laughs and stuff. Now, people are comparing the whole fiasco to the whole Bud Light disaster. And then, you know what? They're not wrong. Cracker Barrel's situation is not just about marketing. It's about simply rejecting the very people who built your brand. When you mock the sensibilities of folks who actually made you successful in the first place, don't be shocked when they actually start to mock you right on back and take you their money elsewhere. Now, simply put, one meme called it "Go Woke, Go Broke," the Barrel edition. Another actually said, Cracker Barrel just went full Bud Light, and that was way before the financial numbers and stuff dropped. Now, nearly $100 million vanished in one day. And if this simply continues, well, Cracker Barrel will just have pulled off in 1 week what Bud Light did over months. Now, the company had one job: don't alienate the people who actually eat there. But now, Cracker Barrel is just a punchline, a cautionary tale, and a brand that people are actively avoiding. Now, simply put, that's just what happens when you sneer at your own customers. Okay, so you thought that was bad. I mean, they even altered, as you all know, they altered the iconic peg game on the tables. The little triangle puzzle everyone fidgeted with while waiting on biscuits. Yeah. Cracker Barrel decided to rewrite the language on that too. Used to be funny. Leave one peg, you're a genius. Leave four more, you're an ignoramus. That was a part of the charm right there, but not anymore. You see, this particular new version actually coddles you no matter how bad you do. No reason to be embarrassed. You got this. It reads like a failed attempt at emotional support. I mean, it's a wooden peg game, not therapy. You see, they even started serving alcohol, okay? The same Cracker Barrel that used to pride itself on being family friendly now thinks mimosas and margaritas are the path to redemption, basically. And it also comes at the cost of those unique Cracker Barrel drinks, the frosted mugs of apple cider, the old school root beer floats, gone, replaced with high margin booze and paint by numbers bar menu. Okay, so now it's not just the brand that's unrecognizable, it's the entire experience. Now, Cracker Barrel thinks it cannot just become a hipster brunch spot, forgetting that its entire identity was built on being the opposite of that. Okay. And even Outkick pointed out how far this goes. You see, it's not just a new color scheme. You see, Cracker Barrel ripped out everything from the gift shop to the games on the table. The Appalachian nostalgia is just simply being erased in favor of sterile modern country aesthetics. I mean, whatever that even means, but it's like they fired every person over 40 and let a focus group of interns redesign the place. That peg game change, that wasn't even an accident. They intended that. That was a decision on their part. Somebody greenlit that with a straight face, and that's how far Cracker Barrel is right now. And the worst part, people aren't even coming back. You see, people online show in like empty Cracker Barrel in places like Tennessee on Saturday night, and also in the previous video, I've had somebody comment there stating that usually their local Cracker Barrel, they had drove past, parking lots used to be full, and then they drove past today after church. Only 3 cars are sitting out there. Okay, so basically, you don't have to be an economist to know what that means. People are voting with their wallets, plain and simple. If Cracker Barrel thinks this is just online noise, they're wrong. Regular Americans remember what Cracker Barrel was like, what it was like when they were kids. They remember going with their grandparents, their parents. They also remember it as part of a road trip or even a holiday. That memory was sacred, and now it's been cheapened and scrubbed down by marketing executives, basically with no soul. Now, people liked Cracker Barrel because it was different. You know, it was Americana. It wasn't supposed to be modern. It was supposed to be warm, familiar, and unapologetically nostalgic. Not only that, but also historic. That was the whole point. If people wanted to go to be a minimalist beige walled breakfast joint, they go to one of the 24 chains that already look like that. Cracker Barrel wasn't built to compete with First Watch or Panera Bread. It was built to feel like home and original. And now the people in charge have completely forgotten that. You see, they gutted it, they sterilized it, and now they're simply just watching it collapse. Now, even MSNBC knows it's a disaster, but instead of admitting the rebrand was a mistake, they're, melting down over the outrage and stuff. They're calling the backlash manufacturer, as you all saw in that video clip I played earlier, dismissing people as angry conservatives or MAGA who don't understand progress. But we've seen this before. We've played the game before. They're not defending, Cracker Barrel because, simply put, they care about Cracker Barrel. They're defending it because they see their own failures in the backlash. Heck, MSNBC is in the middle of their own identity crisis with MS Now, and they're projecting that mess onto everyone else. Now, this Cracker Barrel story is just the latest in a long line of corporate screw-ups that you all know about that stem from simply forgetting who your customer is. You can't erase the brand's entire history and expect loyalty to stick around. Heck, ask Disney about that. Ask Bud Light. Ask Target. Ask Jaguar about it as well. You see, the same customers that were marked as the, quote, vocal minority just cost Cracker Barrel 1/10 of Bud Light's losses in a single day. So that's not a fluke. That's not fringe. That's a warning sign. It's a blinking red light for every company thinking of doing the same thing, okay? Now, even Democrats are just simply distancing themselves from this whole craziness, as you all saw here on the Steak and Shakes page. With the Cracker Barrel flop. It's bad when the official party accounts are clowning the rebrand. Gavin Newsom himself, I heard, wouldn't touch this mess with a 10-foot pole. And you think that some of these executives will learn, but no. They see the Bud Light playbook and copy word for word, and then they act shocked, when it blows up in their face. You see, this is about hubris. It's about ignoring the regular Americans and pretending the new version will magically succeed because, simply put, the media says it should. Yeah, but here's what it all boils down to. Cracker Barrel traded tradition for trends. It handed off charm and culture for sanitized mediocrity. And the result, a company that feels ashamed of what it was, terrified of just basically what it's becoming, and completely clueless about why customers are so furious. So if Cracker Barrel doesn't reverse course soon, well, they're just going to end up like, Blockbuster, just another nostalgic memory that people joke about simply while eating somewhere else. But this is the modernization virus, or the woke mind virus, that's infecting everything. The same thing that happened to Pizza Hut, McDonald's, and even Toys R Us. These particular companies actually dropped everything that actually made them iconic, and then just simply act stunned or shocked when nobody shows up. You see, people don't want sterile. They want soul. They want the green glass lamps. They want the peg game jokes. They want root beer floats in a frozen mug with just dripping in there and everything. Cracker Barrel was built on memories, not margins. And now they've tossed all that aside for some corporate fantasy of modern chic. Now, simply put, Cracker Barrel simply needs to look in the mirror. The logo isn't the issue. The customers aren't the problem. The people in charge are the Karen CEO, the woke woman herself. They're pushing a brand new version of Cracker Barrel that nobody asked for. And now they're simply stunned that people don't want it. If this keeps up, it won't just be a financial nosedive. It'll be the end of Cracker Barrel as we knew it. And if that happens, well, they'll have nobody to blame but themselves. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Be sure to smash the like button, share the video far wide across social media, subscribe to the channel, turn on that bell for future uploads, notifications, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, peace.